I'm Dr. David Beaulieu, and I'm here today to introduce you to another doctor coming into the office. Young doctor, Derek Garcia, just got out of school. I got to meet him before his graduation and was, to say the least, impressed.
Hello, I am Dr. Garcia, and I am here today to talk to you about a very common thought process in the chiropractic world, and that is, once you start getting adjusted, do you have to necessarily get adjusted for life? Now, the simple and quick answer to this is no, you don't necessarily have to get adjusted for life, but the more complicated answer is, while you don't need to get adjusted for life, you will see benefits from getting under regular chiropractic care. So I like to help bridge the gap here with an analogy of test taking, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, and especially being fresh out of school, the horror's still fresh in my memory. So when you get to a test question, sometimes you're not really sure of the answer, and what do you typically do? Usually you do one of two things. You either skip it and come back to it later in the hopes that you're going to have a little bit better sense of what the question's asking, or you guess. And when you come back to it later, you either have a better sense of what's going on and know the answer, or you have to guess then. And in a typical question format, let's just say multiple choice, there's 4 options usually, and that means you have about a 25% chance of guessing right. Well, this actually happens in life too. Occasionally there's experiences that happen to us that we can't integrate at a certain moment in time. I mean, how many times have you thought, heard, or said, I can't deal with this right now. This is too much to handle, or I'll just deal with this later. And what's happening is we're taking these experiences, this information, and we're storing it somewhere in our body to later be integrated. And the unfortunate part is there's way more choices than 4 options in life. And so what happens if we guess wrong? Well, the world's not going to end. It's not going to come to a screeching halt, and sometimes we don't even notice the immediate effects, but what happens when you bend a young tree down and then you tie it down with a rope? The tree technically still grows and in a seemingly thriving and robust manner, but its trajectory has changed. It is no longer growing in its most optimum direction, which is towards the sun. We have taken this tree and we are now growing it in a manner that's most optimum for us and not necessarily most optimum for the tree. So the question I would like to pose to you now is, what has your environment been shaping you into? So wouldn't it be nice if you had a teacher come around when you were taking these tests and all the questions you didn't know the answer to, they'd come around and help you figure out the answer? Well, I'm not saying I'm a prodigy or anything, but I have spent countless hours studying and training and refining my ability to help you with just that. And that is to facilitate your body's natural ability to integrate these experiences and then return you to an optimum functioning state of being. So we do this, and if you want to get in a more educated, more research background state of mind, we can also look to a few research papers that were written that looked at immobilizing joints in a rat's spine by taking a metal brace and putting it on the spine to simulate an immobilized joint. And I know this is a little inhumane, but can you imagine trying to get grants on that for human trials? I don't know, I think it might be a little difficult. So what happens is once these joints are immobilized, they start noticing measurable degenerative changes within 48 hours of the immobilized joint. And within 7 to 10 days, there's actual noticeable proteoglycan loss within that joint space. And proteoglycans are the fundamental building blocks of most of our connective tissue, specifically ligaments and tendons, which help stabilize joints in our body. If we start to lose proteoglycans in these joint areas, it can result in a few things. We can start to see a loss of stability in the joint. We can see an increase in degeneration, and then we can also see a change in muscle tone in the areas around that joint to help make up for the instability. So it would benefit you, based on that research, to come in and get checked every 2 weeks or at least once a month to make sure that these degenerative processes aren't beginning or progressing further than they need to. And if you come in for a wellness checkup and you get evaluated and you don't have anything going on in your body, then we send you home. There's no adjustment made, there's no fee charged. We're here looking out for your best interest. We're not trying to make a quick buck. So I would just like to put the idea forward that it is not only helpful, but almost necessary for a prolonged and functioning lifestyle to get checked on a regular basis to make sure none of this is happening. Keep you in tip-top shape.